I saw this article title and I had to check it out. It said Japan increasingly out of sync with global market as people shun speaking English. And you can understand why this caught my attention, and I had to read more. I would love to know what your perspective is on this topic. You'll want to stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to share with you my thoughts on who I think should learn to speak English. And I think it might surprise you that my opinion is that I actually don't think everyone should learn to speak English. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. You can check out the link and the text to the actual article in the description. But here are some of the main points of the article. A survey completed by the Swiss company EF Education First found that Japan's proficiency in spoken English has been on the decline, and that they are ranked 87th out of 113 non-English speaking countries. And this places Japan behind Malawi and just ahead of Afghanistan. This article points out that Japan's English proficiency is lagging behind other Asian countries, with Singapore and the Philippines, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and South Korea all ranking higher in English speaking proficiency, while the Netherlands and Singapore are the top global ranking countries. There has also been an ongoing decline in English proficiency, with Japan dropping from 14th position in 2011 to its current 87th spot. And they attribute this decline to different factors, but one includes the lack of opportunities for Japanese students to actually practice speaking English. This article also points out that there are some challenges with the English education system in Japan. It talks about how their learning provides a good grasp of written English, but does not offer opportunities for practicing practical speaking skills. And also, the level offered sometimes is basic, and the students also may be reluctant to speak up because of fears of making mistakes. The Japanese government has recognized that there is a problem, and they set a target of 100,000 Japanese students studying abroad annually by 2027. And they have put efforts in place to improve English language classes in schools, but it sounds like the impact has been limited. There is also this concept of the Galapagos effect, which suggests that Japan's development is not keeping up with the development of the rest of the world in English speaking proficiency. And so this is keeping them behind the global standard of English speaking for business and diplomacy and transactions. Some experts argue that this reluctance to fully educate people in English speaking puts the entire nation at a disadvantage because it hinders their ability to compete with the global market. And these experts also believe that it's really important to have effective communication in English for Japan to really be influential and progressive on the world stage. Another point is that there are some cultural and racial aspects of suggesting that some individuals may not prioritize English proficiency. These points brought up some questions in my mind, such as, is Japan seeing a significant economic difference because of this decline? Are there specific industries or sectors that have been more affected by this communication barrier? How do you think the Japanese education system could be improved to better equip students with practical English language skills? And do you think that an effort for more students to study abroad is a sustainable answer to this decline? Is there a reasonable balance between preserving Japan's linguistic and cultural identity and still being able to stay up with the demands of a globalized community? So, what are your thoughts about this article? In your life, do you relate at all with this situation? Do you think that learning to speak English should be a priority in our global communications? Here is my take on who should learn to speak English. As I have traveled the world, one thing that I appreciate about other places and cultures is the beautiful languages that make these cultures totally unique. And that does cause some frustration in communication, but I do not think that everyone in the world should cater to my language preferences and proficiencies. And here are the questions that I would think about if I was deciding if someone should learn English. First of all, how much benefit is it going to bring to your life? Is not knowing English impacting you and limiting you in some way? Are you able to be successful and enjoy your life by not speaking English? And another really important question is, do you want to learn English? When I traveled to India, I was staying in a very small town in northern India where there were English speakers, but only if they had more educational opportunities. And I went to a marketplace where most of the people did not speak English. So that limited our ability to communicate and also my comfort in spending money with them and also being able to feel like I had that trust as a customer. But I don't think it's worth it for them to go to the work of speaking English for one random tourist who visits their market. For those random occasions, you can rely on someone to help you translate, or we have technology that can help you communicate. I'm sure in other places in India where the economy is dependent on tourism, knowing English might be to their benefit. It might benefit their business. So learning English that specifically serves them in connecting with their customers might be beneficial. Our family was traveling and staying for a few weeks in Rome, and we were staying in a little neighborhood. And there was a market around this corner and a gelato shop around this corner. And this really was not necessarily a touristy area. This was an area of Italians living their life. And whenever Italians would meet our family, they would be surprised how well my husband speaks Italian. And so he would explain how he learned to speak Italian. And the man at that gelato shop who was working there, he mentioned how he really wanted to improve his English speaking. I was really curious about that because I did not think there would be many English speakers in that area, but he said that he wanted to be able to connect with more customers and bring in more business, with be able to connect with those English speaking customers because he knows that if you're able to clearly communicate with English speaking customers, they will feel more comfortable visiting your store and also spending money with you. Another example that I experienced, I was in Istanbul and I went to a market and the shop owner spoke English quite well. And something that they did to try to connect with Americans visiting their market was that they would ask, what state are you from? And whatever state that the people in our group were from, they would say, oh, this is the capital. And so I said, oh, I live in Colorado. And they said, oh, Denver. And they knew that Denver was the capital, even though they had never been there. They had gone to the trouble to learn the capitals because they understood the concept that if you can somehow connect with your customer, the longer you can have a discussion with them and connect with them, the more likely they are to spend money with you. And that was brilliant. So the bottom line for me is if you see that learning English would benefit your life in a way that would make a difference to you, a difference to your family, and to the opportunities that you have in life, then by all means, learn English. If not, then don't learn English. To me, it is as simple as that, but I know that I only have my limited perspective in my life, and experiences. And so I would love to know what your thoughts are. I think this could be a little bit of a controversial topic for some people. So share your thoughts in the comments and share this article with others and start a discussion about what you think. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. And if learning English is a priority for you, then I can help you with that. I have learning memberships and courses and free resources all here to help you learn to speak business English. So let's get connected. I would love to be part of your journey and get to know you and what your goals are. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.